You may have seen Vindaloo on the menu at your favorite Indian restaurant. A hot curry with chunks of beef, lamb, or goat and a rich dark red sauce. Today I'm going to be making a more traditional version of this dish, Goan pork Vindaloo. It's similar in many ways to its modern equivalent, but its unique flavors are put on show, not covered up by heat. Now this dish has a very interesting history, which I'll get into later on in this video. But for now, let's get cooking. We're going to start this dish out by making the curry sauce, which is traditionally made with Kashmiri chilies. Sadly, real Kashmiri chilies are hard to find in Canada, so we're going to be substituting them with a mix of black tea, the more common guajillo chili, and paprika. The guajillos will give the curry a rich chili base flavor, the black tea will replicate the floral notes of Kashmiri chilies, and the paprika will lend some sweetness and color to the sauce. Now, as we bring the pork up to temperature before transferring to the oven, let me tell you a little bit about the history of Goan pork Vindaloo. Vindaloo is a dish with an interesting and complex history. Its history dates back to the Portuguese attempt to gain a foothold in the trade empires of Asia. The Portuguese battled through the Arabian Sea in order to get to India, one of the main hubs of trade in Asia. Eventually, after clawing their way through the Indian Navy, the Portuguese managed to seize the port of Goa. It was the perfect place for them to finally set up their Asian trade headquarters. The Portuguese were there to stay, and this led their culture to reshape and meld with the culture of Goa. The Portuguese converted much of the population of Goa, which was mostly Muslim at the time, to Catholicism throughout their 400-year stay. This change is most evidently seen in their food, where even to this day, a heavy Portuguese influence is seen. The use of pork is one very obvious change. Pork is not a very common ingredient in India due to its large Muslim population. The dish likely originates from a Portuguese dish that I cannot pronounce, so I'll just put it on the screen. A stew of wine, garlic, and pork. The Portuguese didn't have many of the ingredients needed to make the dish in India, so they turned to the native population for their knowledge of local ingredients. This dish is a perfect example of people taking something forced upon them by their oppressors and making it their own. Now that we've spent all that time making the dish, it's time to finally taste the fruits of our labor. Give it a stir and serve it simply on top of some basmati rice or with naan if you have any. Before I try it, let me get a nice close-up of it. There we go. Now it's time to dig in. And wow, it's delicious. The pork is nice and tender, the sauce coating it is rich and flavorful. I think this is a dish that everyone should try, and of course the pork can be swapped out for almost any other meat. I'm really glad that I got to make and eat a version of this dish so close to the original, and learn about the complex and dividing history of its colonial roots. A lot can be learned through the history of food, and the changes it undergoes throughout that history. I hope this video sparks your curiosity and makes you question when and where your food came from just a little bit more. Thanks for watching.